Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to CCS CAP Artist Shoutouts. Our Saturday Artist Shoutouts feature one staff member each week to discuss their creative and professional practices, personal artwork, interest in teaching, favorite classes, advice for students, and more. So this week we are going to be featuring Gabby Baginski. Miss Gabby is the photo coordinator as well as one of our teaching artists here at CAP. She has been with us since 2015 and usually teaches classes such as Intro to Arts and Crafts and photography, as well as stars on our CAP at Home digital art making channel. Miss Gabby is from Shelby Township, Michigan, and has a degree in photography from the College for Creative Studies. Now she is working as a photographer, creating portraits and experimenting with film, as well as cameraless photography. The advice Miss Gabby would give to artists following in her footsteps would be to always practice what you're interested in. Research, be inspired, and show your work to the world. So we have Miss Gabby with us right now, so we can ask her some questions, get to know Miss Gabby. Thank you, Miss Gabby, for being with us today.
Hi, it's such a pleasure. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for all the lovely, nice words you said about me.
You're welcome. Thank you. So you do a lot of experimenting with camera, film, things like that. Would you want to tell us a little bit about your art practice and what you make?
Yeah, of course. Right now, like a lot of what I've been doing is just using a lot of film, which is like an older, like the beginning style of photography. And since we were like on the lockdown and we couldn't go many places, I really tried to experiment with cameraless photography. So a lot of what I was working on doing is using the sun to create images. So I just have this like special darkroom photographic paper and I was just trying to use like wacky, weird objects, to create a photograph. And, you would just leave it basically in the sun for, a few hours to like a full day. So I was like, I have a few examples. So you see, like, these are rose petals that I did. So
Those are
this was out in the sun, yeah, for quite some time. And then I experimented with like produce. So here, like a banana.
I love
um, yeah. So, and then what I do, it's nice to have such a like tangible thing, but also I scan them in and create, digital versions of them as well. So that was a lot of what I've been working on. And so I've just been playing around a lot with like that kind of stuff. So yeah.
That's really awesome. And so you graduated from CCS from in photography. Oh my! And so did you always know you wanted to go into art, or were you doing other things before CCS? What was kind of like your journey to get to where you are?
Yeah, so growing up, like in Shelby Township, my family actually owned a bakery, so a Polish bakery, and so it was kind of between being like a pastry chef or a photographer or going, to art school to CCS. So I actually, I love to bake. Like that's something I always do, and I've been like experimenting a lot recently as well with that. But I kind of knew, I liked just being able to tell my story or any kind of story just through my eyes. I think our opinions and thoughts and like visions are very valuable, and so I think photography just like kind of called me that way. So yep, I decided to do that, but I still bake on the side.
That's awesome. Totally didn't know that about you.
Yep.
So would you say that that kind of influences the art that you make, or do you get influences or inspiration from other things?
Right now, I was doing a lot of different like food photography digitally, for the last few months, just trying to create different ways to show that too. So that was something I've been really working on. But a lot of what inspires me usually, is like maybe things that are going on currently in the world, and especially a lot of things that are currently going on with me. I like to use it as a, also like a therapeutic like release just to get my thoughts and feelings out, with whatever I'm feeling, because I think that's super important. Even if I'm going to show anybody or if I'm just doing it for myself, I think it's very valuable to get that out across. And, if it's photography or if it's baking or drawing or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's super important, even to recognize that you don't always have to make work for other people. You can make work
Oh,
for
yeah.
yourself.
I have
That's
so much stuff that I don't really show people because it's just for me. So, so
you probably have like a ton of artwork. You're like kidding.
it's
Just
actually so funny. Sometimes I'll like show people things and they're like, like my colleagues or, just like friends, and they're like, oh my goodness, like what are you doing? Like why aren't you posting these, or, things like that, like showing or something. And I'm just like, oh well, it's not ready, or, that's not the point, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of crazy, like my like works in funny ways. So yeah, I have a lot of backlog of stuff.
well, that's really cool. And so you've been with CAP for a little while now, and you teach a lot of photography classes.
Mhm.
Is like that your favorite thing to teach, or do you have like a specific class that you love teaching, or?
Yeah, no, I mean, I love photography because, going from CCS and then coming into the community arts partnerships, it's really interesting because I had to figure out a way to make it like photography in a way that it's not just like printing a photo and like hanging it up. It's making the photographs, into something more, whether, like you're creating like a frame, or you're creating like a globe, like a light globe that like has your image like across it. So it's always my favorite to kind of figure out like how to turn like your photographs into like a craft or like a 3D object. I really like that challenge, so that kind of helped me even like further along in my like personal career, into creating something a little more, that's just like more meaningful and more like even for like the like young artists that we are teaching. So
And would you say that, or what would you say is like the best part of teaching or being a teaching artist to you then?
I
I
think
know
it's like
that's a
that.
hard question.
I know. It's totally difficult. I think, I know we teach, like we come across like a lot of young artists and like a lot of young students, and it's it's great that if you like, can reach out and just like inspire all of them, or if you just get that one that's like, oh my goodness, like I get this, like this is what I want to move forward doing, and it's just like those really little things, like even like comments, like I was teaching like an intro to drawing class, and I don't like, I'm not that great at drawing, but I tried my best to do a lot of things. But there was one student that, oh my goodness, was brilliant. So like they would ask me things, and I tried my best to and like they were so grateful when I would just bring little things that they asked for, like to just further along their skill
Right.
level. So I always I just like love that satisfaction that they're like, yes, like we're learning and like we get it. And I think that's like a really rewarding thing if it's just one student that we're really reaching. So
That's beautiful. And um okay, I have two more questions for you that kind of piggyback off that. And so what would you say, like, why art is important to you? I know you kind of talked about like why it's important to like teach it and the inspiration behind it, but like why is it important to you?
What's important to me because it's just something that can connect you not only more with yourself and get to know yourself like much better, but it can connect you with people across the globe, or people like down the street. Just you never know, but like who can see your work and be impacted by whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think that's like extremely important. And yeah, I just think that's like super valuable. So
I agree. That's Awesome. That's well put. Well said. And lastly, what advice do you have for our young artists?
Oh my goodness. So I know I talked about like how I don't show some work to people, and that's okay too. But it is really great to show your work to anybody and everybody, to get that feedback. It's great to hear a lot of people's opinions, and it's really great because you have the power and the choice to either listen or and learn and grow, or you can just be like, well, thank you for your input. And it's all about like listening to yourself and just like accepting that input and either taking it or leaving it. And it's super important because you always should listen to yourself. And it's great to research and be inspired by other artists, not even if like in your medium, like it could be something totally different. I really love, I do love drawing, and I do love like printmaking. So, I always look at other kinds of art to really find like that inspiration. So it's just researching and getting inspired and showing your work. That's really
Yeah. The
important.
more you look at art, the better, right?
Yes, absolutely. Like I know there's a lot of like art museums doing a lot of like gallery, like virtual tours too. If you That's
Right.
something, things like that. A lot of places are doing a lot of that stuff right now. And I love to even go like on Instagram and just search for photographers and see what they're doing, or going to certain pages and seeing who they're posting about. And I mean, it's all endless, and there's so many people that you can find across the world, or
Mhm.
in like Michigan or anywhere where you are. So, yeah.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for
Of
joining
course.
us today. So for our viewers, make sure to join us on Cap at Home on Tuesdays and Thursdays to make art live with Miss Gabby. She does some awesome projects. And if you're interested in seeing more of her artwork, in the comments in the written post of this video, I have posted her website as well as her Instagram handle. So make sure to check those out. And tune in not next Saturday because we're off for the 4th of July, but the following Saturday for another featured CAP artist shout out. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Make sure to check out Miss Gabby on Cap at Home.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Bye, everybody.